this is Tulika Banerjee from Forensic Science Unit, SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi, presenting this module on behalf of Ritu Sharma, Assistant Professor, Sachi University of Buddhist Indic Studies, Bhopal. I am delighted to present this lecture on crimes against children in India, which is taught in BA second semester. Before we start our chapter with the introduction of this chapter, let's look at the other modules we will study in this chapter. Module 1, Causes of Offence Against Children and Related Acts. Module 2 is regarding crime against children. Module 3 is role of police in crime against children. And the last module, which is module number 4, is regarding conclusion. Students, let us now start with our learning episode with the introduction, which will give a brief overview of today's lecture. Introduction. Children are innocent, vulnerable and dependent. They are all curious, active and full of hope. Their life should be full of joy and peace, playing, learning and growing. Their future should be shaped in harmony and cooperation. Their childhood should mature as they broaden their perspectives and gain new experience. Abandoning the children, excluding good foundation of life for them, is a crime against humanity. The children cannot wait till tomorrow. They grow every day. Along with them grows their sense of awareness about the surroundings. Tomorrow is no answer. The goal of their present care, protection and rehabilitation is the need of the hour. Children who by definition requires the guardianship and care of adults are among the most vulnerable and innocent victims of crime. Crimes against children include physical and emotional abuse, neglect and exploitation, such as through child pornography or sex trafficking of minors. Child-related crimes often are perpetrated by parents, relatives, caretakers and others who are charged with their care and guidance. School officials, physicians, police officers and other such authority figures are required to report any signs of abuse or exploitation against a child. We have already the rights assured to them by the Constitution, the directive principles and the Convention on the Right of the Child, but still our country is facing this social problem. This chapter attempts to highlight the crimes against children, their causes and possible solutions. In common saying or in ordinary sense, child means a person who is unable to maintain himself or itself. According to the provisions of various acts dealing child exclusively, one can come to know that it is the age of the child which determines as to who is child. In other words, child may be determined according to his or her age, subject to a particular act to which he is subjected. In India, various acts describe various age of child, and they are: according to section 2B of the Bidi and Cigar Workers Condition of Employment Act 1966, child means a person who has not completed his 14th year of age. According to section 2 of the Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986, child means a person who has not completed his 14th year of age. According to section 3A of the Dangerous Machines Regulation Act 1983, child means a person who has not completed his 14th year of age. According to section 2BB of the Minimum Wages Act 1948, child means a person who has not completed his 14th year of age. According to Section 2 of the MP Shops and Establishment Act 1958, child means a person who is below 14 years of age. According to Section 2C of the Factories Act 1948, child means a person who has not completed his 15th year of age. According to Section 2 of the Children Pledging of Labour Act 1933, child means a person who is under the age of 15 years. According to Section 2A of the Immoral Traffic Pledging of Labour Act 1933, child means a person who is under the age of 15 years. According to Section 2B of the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, child means any person below the age of 18 years and includes any adopted, step or foster child. According to Section 2K of the Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2000, juvenile or child means a person who has not completed 18th year of age. According to Section 2A of the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006, child means a person who, if a male, has not completed 21 years of age and if a female has not completed 18 years of age. Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer said, "The hallmark of culture and advance of civilization consists in the fulfillment of our obligation to the young generation by opening up all opportunities for every child to unfold its personality and rise to its full stature, physical, mental and spiritual. It is the birthright of every child to demand justice from the whole world." In a civilized society, the importance of child welfare cannot be underestimated because the welfare of the entire community, its growth and development, depends on the health and well-being of its children. Children are a supremely important national asset, and the future well-being of the nation depends on how its children grow and develop. Jawaharlal Nehru has said about children that today's child is tomorrow's future. Some factors which are known to affect the volume and type of crime occurring from place to place are population density and degree of urbanization, particularly the concentration of youth, stability of population with residence mobility, community patterns and transient factors, economic condition, medium, below poverty line and job availability, cultural factors and educational, recreational and religious characteristics, family conditions with respect to divorce and family cohesiveness, effective strength of law enforcement agencies, chronic hunger, lack of education, overwork and forced labor, child pornography, prostitution, trafficking, labor and child marriage. Students, in the following section, we will discuss the international conventions for protection of children. International Protection to Child and Convention. Children are exploited to a large extent in work, humiliated in society and faces several discriminations. Looking at this, there was a need globally for making declaration for the benefit and the rights of the children, to provide them security, to fight against all these evils of child abuse. So, various declarations have been given internationally, which are Declaration of the Rights of the Child 1959. The General Assembly of the United Nations adopted this declaration on 20th November 1959. The World Summit for Children of 1990. Declaration of Geneva 1924, General Conference of the International Labour Organization, that is ILO, Geneva, 29th October 1990. Worst Forms or Child Labour Convention 1999. UNCRC, United Nations Conventions on the Rights of the Child in 1992. The International Convention on the Rights of the Child 1989. Since ages, children have been victimized by one abuse or the other. It is not wrong to say that they are a lot neglected. Throughout the history of our society, children have been bought, sold, enslaved, exploited and killed. They have been abandoned, severely beaten and physically abused. In fact, the more we go in the history, we find that a lot of children had been hushes and crueler. Poverty and illiteracy are the main reasons that has led to killing of children. Even as Delhi convulses over its unending tale of shame and horror, the National Crime Records Bureau, that is NCRB, report shows that crime against women and children is in fact a national plague, by no means limited to its capital alone. The victimization starts before the birth of a child itself, for instance, feticide, gender determination of fetus, and causing miscarriage. If during pregnancy it is determined that the unborn is a female, then the practice of infanticide or the willful killing of newborn babies was widely accepted among ancient and prehistoric people as a legitimate means of dealing with unwanted children. And the same has taken the shape of feticide with the advent on latest scientific and technological instruments. Sexual exploitation is another abuse which children have faced over the centuries. Poverty and illiteracy has played a great role in resulting children to be exploited in order to earn their meal every day. Children have been used as slaves and bonded labourers in all societies. In India, children coming from the lower strata of society served the mighty and wealthy. They served, and died. Although the times have changed and the miseries of children have been reduced with the implementation of certain laws, yet a lot is there to be improved. The National Crime Records Bureau of India indicates rape cases against children in India have increased by 20% in 2012 over 2011. The year registered an increase of 29.68% in 2011 over 2010. However, with the consequences of crimes against children increasing in the recent scenario, it is considered to be a challenge for law enforcement to combat over such cases in order to make prevention. Law enforcement should plan the preventive measures. Dear students, now we shall discuss the impact of these offences against children on society. Impact of offences against children on society. Children are so innocent in nature. This innocence can be misused by others. Especially when offences take place, it is shameful and society hates it. There is a threat in the mindset of society members which influences parents psychologically as well as the social conditions. Because in a country like India, normative structure like socialization, where parental conditions play a vital role. People will suffer by the crimes, it will also destroy the social conditions in labeling perspective. Government has implemented various policies and laws in order to protect children by assuring them some rights. Even United Nations Declaration on Children Rights becomes questionable if increasing rate of crime exceeds further. In our coming section, we will have discussion over some of the common crimes or offences against children. Major forms of offences against children in India. First, sexual offences. Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012 deals with sexual offences against children in India. Earlier, it was dealt with Rape Section 375 of Indian Penal Code. There were 8,541 cases registered in 2012 as per the National Crime Records Bureau of India statistics. Rapes, sexual assaults, sexual harassments are a common major issues in the recent development. Ministry of Law and Justice India passed the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Acts in order to protect children from sexual offences. Also, the National Policy for Children 2013 has been made to deal with immoral trafficking of children and their welfare. Child trafficking, a major problem in India, which includes selling and buying of girls, procurement of minor girls, kidnapping are the major crimes. Selling of girls reported 108 cases during the year of 2012, whereas 8 cases were reported for buying and for procurement of minor girls. 809 cases were reported. Immoral Traffic Prevention Act of 1986 deals with the problems as a special law in India. Indian Penal Code Section 372 also deals with selling of girls. Next is child marriage. Child marriage is also a social problem in India. Law enforcement enacted Prohibition of Child Marriage Act in the year 2006. Child labour. 2 effective laws were passed in order to prevent child labour. Bonded Labour System Abolishment Act of 1976 and Child Labour Act of 2006 and also Child Labour Prevention and Regulation Act of 1986. Next is murder. Murder is defined under the Indian Penal Code of Section 302. In 2012, the rate of murder of children were 1,597 reported as per the NCRB reports India. Feticide. Feticide are punishable under Section 315 and 316. In 2012, the total feticide cases were reported to be 210. These are punishable under the sections of 315 and 316 of IPC. Next is kidnapping. It is another major crime. Kidnapping and exporting of children is penalized under Section 360 of IPC. Kidnapping and demanding ransom is punishable under 364A of IPC. Students, these are the major reasons which are affecting the society and social dignity of children. Also, they are the major social problems which society members, law enforcement agencies are rethinking to prevent this issue. Nowadays, the main question is how to take care of our children, and this needs rethinking in order to make policies, laws, and to create some deterrence among society members and to punish the culprits. In most of the cases, offenders are well known to victims. Police department and other law enforcement agencies are having huge burden on their shoulders in order to prevent. Criminal justice system provides a lot of support to the victims. They can have fast proceedings of trial, special trial, in order to protect the dignity of children and their future. Indian society feels shame on the national development in the field of crime and its vulnerability. There should be community interference in order to fight against offences against children. Generally, the offences committed against children or the crimes in which children are the victims are considered as crime against children. IPC and the various protective and preventive special and local laws specifically mentions the offences wherein children are victims. The age of child varies as per the definition given in the concerned acts and sections, but age of child has been defined to be below 18 years as per the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2000. Therefore, an offence committed on a victim under the age of 18 years is construed as crime against children for the purpose of analysis in this chapter. It is also to be borne in mind that the offences that are analysed in this chapter do not form an exclusive block of offences that are reported in the country. They are included in the IPC or SSL cases already discussed in these relevant chapters. The offences that I have mentioned in this chapter have been culled out from various reported crimes in the country, wherein the victims of the offences were children. The gender-wise breakup of crime against children has also been a new addition in the proforma. The list of offences under the two broadly categorized offences under IPC and the Special and Local Acts comprises of crime against children under Indian Penal Code. This includes murder under section 302 of IPC, attempt to commit murder, section 307 IPC, infanticide, section 315 IPC, rape, section 376 of IPC, unnatural offence, section 377 of IPC, assault on women, girl child with intent to outrage her modesty, section 354 of IPC. Under this we have sexual harassment covered under section 354A of IPC, assault or use of criminal force to women, girl children with intent to disrobe under section 354B of IPC, voyeurism under section 354C of IPC, stalking under section 354D of IPC, insult to the modesty of women, girl children under section 509 of IPC, kidnapping and abduction under sections 363, 364, 364A and 366 of IPC, along with break of such cases committed with various purposes. Feticide under section 315 and 316 of IPC, abetment of suicide of child under section 305 of IPC, exposure and abandonment section 317 of IPC, procuration of minor girls section 366A of IPC, importation of girls from foreign country under section 366B of IPC under 18 years of age, buying of minors for prostitution under section 373 of IPC, selling of minors for prostitution under section 372 of IPC. The second type is the crime against children under special and local laws. Under this, first we have the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act of 2006, Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994 for persons below 18 years of age, Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act of 1986, Immoral Traffic Prevention Act of 1956, Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2000, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. The police have a central role in protecting children, preventing and investigating crime. The police also have a duty to protect and promote the welfare of children in their care and custody and at all the stages of the process. With the increasing rate of crime against children, the police needs to give more importance in solving the crimes, as protection of children is one of the main functions. The role of police is very important in crime against children. They are the first organization with whom the victims would have contact. The role of police can be discussed in two parts. First, the immediate action, and the second one is later action. Let us first discuss about the immediate actions. Immediate action includes protecting the child from harm, seek medical assistance if required, arrest and detain any suspect or suspects, preserve evidence, speak to the child alone to determine the child's view and record verbatim the child's account, contact the child care agencies in the state requiring emergency intervention. Now we will discuss about the later action. It includes giving justice to the victim as soon as possible, give counseling and support services to the victim, keep the families informed about investigations and legal processes. In India, each police district in the state has a women and child cell which supervises the response of all the police stations of that district to all kinds of crimes and complaints relating to women, juveniles and children. The district superintendent of police has the control over the functions of the women and the child cell. The superintendent of police entrusts inquiry and investigation of important matters and cases to this cell. The women and child cell will comprise of an inspector of police, preferably a lady, sub-inspector or additional sub-inspector of police, preferably a lady, and 4 constables of whom at least 2 will be lady constables. Following are the highlights from our today's lecture. The offences committed against children or the crimes in which children are the victims are considered as crime against children. The age of child varies as per the definition given in the concerned acts and sections, but age of child has been defined to be below 18 years as per the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2000. Following are the most common crimes against children, including child rape, kidnapping and abduction of children, procuration of minor girls, selling or buying of girls for prostitution, abetment to suicide, exposure and abandonment, infanticide, feticide. Rapidly increasing rate of crimes indicates children are not safe in the Indian cities. Yearly based analysis indicates the problem of the offences is very painful. In a country like India, even though the law and social conditions are very rigid, on the other side there is a need of thinking about the consequences of offences. Children are being victimized due to many factors which affect child mentally and physically. Psychological trauma may remain and will impact the future of children. This kind of development will surely harm the society. But the rigid law and criminal justice as well as the law enforcement agencies are taking over all the challenges and taking measures to prevent the offences. Even morality of the society and the human values should be considered. There is a social responsibility of all the members in order to fight against crime against children. Social and community can play major role. Society and community can play major role in the prevention of offences against children. Dear students, this is the end of our final module in which we have recapitulated our chapter about crime against children in India. I hope you all have enjoyed this lecture. Do keep in mind what we discussed today. I'll be back with one more lecture in this series. If you want to learn more and enhance your knowledge, you may log on to our website www.cec.nic.in for MCQ, quizzes, LWARs, etc. Make sure you revise the modules frequently so that you master the topic well and take up the exercises. Thank you for your time today. I'll see you in the next lecture. Keep learning, work hard and do revise the chapter. Goodbye.